I always found it difficult to relate as a child to the Beis HaMikdash because we don't have it. And it's hard to picture what it's going to be like. What will it be like to bring karbanos, offerings? Yes, there are a lot of excellent books with pictures of the various utensils, but it still seems so far off. In this week's Parsha, the Torah tells us a little bit about the Mizbeach. And there's a guarantee, an assurance. It's also a command. Va'esh al Mizbeach tukad bo. The fire on the Mizbeach, on the altar, will remain burning on it. Lo sichbeh. It will not be extinguished. Fire will never go out. And in Pirkei Avos, in the 5th chapter, we are told that a great miracle occurred. A tremendous nace. Whenever it rained, the rains never put out the fire. Tremendous thing. That the fires of the Mizbeach burnt forever. No, so I ask you, why should Hashem make it rain on the fire and the fire not go out? I have a better idea. Make it so that it doesn't rain on the fire. Wouldn't that be easier? Rabbi Chaim Volozhin makes a suggestion. He points out that the Torah, Hashem, wanted us to learn an important lesson. That there are times in life when there are waters that come to extinguish the fire. Fire represents certain spirituality, something which burns pure. Geshem is the word for that which is physical. Gashmius. We all learn in school, better avoid gashmius. Better avoid things that are overly materialistic. You have to strive for ruchnius, for things which are spiritual. And the message of the Mizbeach is that if the fire burns strong, then we all know you sprinkle a little bit of water onto a fire and the fire is going to dry out the water. It's only when you pour a tremendous amount of water on the fire is the fire extinguished. If you put so much emphasis on the physical world, on the materialistic world, on self-gratification, it could, God forbid, extinguish the soul. It could put out the neshama that's within each one of us. And so it's important to not allow the gashmias, the geshem, to overpower that purity as represented by the fire. But there is another message beyond this message. And that is that when it rained on the fire, somehow the water and the fire were able to coexist. Oseh Shalom b'marav, Hashem creates peace in his high places. What does it mean that he creates peace in his high places? Is there petty politics in heaven? Do people get caught up in silly matters, fighting about trivial things, looking for kavod? In the high places, there is the sun, which is this great orb of light. It's this tremendous fire burning in the sky, in the same sky that is filled with rain, with water, with condensation, with the Van Oort cloud and all of its icy moons. And there is shalom, there is peace. The elements of fire and water are able to coexist in the heavens to teach us that it can happen here down on earth as well, that people can disagree and they can still get along. The rains could fall on the fire of the Mizbeach, and it doesn't have to destroy it. It doesn't have to put it out. It doesn't have to extinguish it. And it's to teach us that we can disagree with one another. It's okay to disagree with one another. And sometimes it's important to disagree. We value Milchamta Shel Torah, the battles in Torah where people disagree. Abai and Rava We're tremendous combatants in matters of halacha. But you see that sometimes one explains the position of the other. Beis Shammai and Beis Hillel had tremendous disagreements on fundamental halachic and ashkafic issues, and yet the Talmud reports that they married into each other's families. It's important for us as well. One of the painful realities of this terrible pandemic is that because there is so much that's unknown, there is tremendous arguments. There are so many disputes between people. People have different attitudes to many issues with regards to how to deal with corona. What should be done on a local level, what should be done on a national level, what should be done on a personal level. Everybody has a different approach. And it's important to recognize that yes, this is an issue that affects people's lives, people's existence. But sometimes there are disputes and you have to disagree with somebody, but you have to do it in a way which is respectful. Not with the intent of stamping them out, not with the intent of destroying them, of putting them away. Let us recognize that there's much that we don't know about this pandemic, and therefore, we can be passionate about our opinions, but we need to be more respectful of those with whom we disagree. Hopefully, if we can make a commitment to one another as we approach the Yontif of Pesach, a time when we were redeemed, if we can demonstrate love and respect and concern, then perhaps we too can merit the ultimate geula. May it come b'meir v'meinu. Amen.